and this is what I would say is I think that we all find a little bit of excitement in the competition among peers.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. But we also know at the end of the day, if we want the true competition and you want to take out like a science experiment, you want to be testing that one thing, right? All the variables. If you take out all the variables, those are the peers. The variable that remains the same is you from what you were yesterday to today. And I think that for you guys, I don't know, I think with lenders, you're right, there are good lenders. I would say in like my real estate scripts, there's always a handful of agents that work like I do, right? Because I want to give props to the people around me.
Yeah.
Also, I want to build up myself using the people that are doing really good work.
Yeah, they're really good. But we're better. Yeah, anyway.
But I think the thing that stands out to me is we had a deal recently where we had a client who'd been working with a lender for, I'd say, close to a month. We were, how many days to close?
I think 8 days till close.
8 days to close.
Yeah.
And so that's not a great time to make a switch.
No, especially to an online lender.
And you had them approved within, 48 hours?
Yeah, from knowing who they were, right, doing an app, once we turned in their loan, it was clear to close within 48 hours. Yeah.
So, I mean, at that point, when I need to be able to do my job freely and negotiate a great deal, I could put this in the hands of, unknown vessels that may not make it to shore, or I could just go for what I know is going to work, and not just work, but be the best avenue immediately. So who would I not introduce our clients to you firsthand, first off?
Yeah, I love that. And I think that it's something interesting in that I was raised in the retail lender world where we had to be really, really good at what we did because our prices were typically a little bit higher. And I think it's pretty neat that when your client called us because they had some online lender bids out there, right? And then you went, hold on, right? Before we go do that, like not only is the service there and our friendship and relationship and all that, but then being able to back it up with really good products with good pricing and man, that family was so happy. Like at the closing table, we had such a blast, right?
Well, we sat there. The closing took like an extra 30 minutes because we're having such a good time. But this is the way that business should be done: is everybody's feeling valued and heard and represented. And I think at the end of the day, that's why we love working with you guys. Is you represent our clients the way that we only wish they could be represented in a transaction. Yeah. And that's the meat of it all right there. Do I, care for you guys as friends and call? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, if your business couldn't back up with what our promises to our clients, we couldn't do as much business as we do with you. But you make it easy every time. I mean, 48 hours.
That's pretty good.
It made me look really good, and it made me really happy for my clients that we could take it to the brink, and then pull it back into a realm of where they're going to be satisfied during the life of their loan with their monthly payments. Because we've got to be shopping now more than ever on what people can afford on a monthly basis and what they're comfortable.
I love that. And something at the closing table is the dynamic you had with that family. Like you were talking about the furniture they had in their house, right? You were talking about their dog. You were talking about you knew their life so well. Like it was an interesting dynamic to see you sitting there at the table. And I know it's I think of the lender side of it, but if there was some frustration because they didn't get a better interest rate or could have changed some of that stuff. But then also like a little bit more lighthearted is we were both wearing all black and they thought it was like a thing, right?
They did. Little do they know that the older we get and the less in shape you are, the black just makes us look a little bit less rough.
But talking about that real quick, I think it's interesting because I used to be a super colorful clothes guy, right?
You used to wear a 3-piece suit. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Super business. Not that you're not business now, but but remember when I got into real estate also, I was wearing more colorful. I think what happens, Matt, is you have to strip away the stuff that's not necessary so you can focus on what's necessary, and that's our clients.
That's good. That's really good. And I see that, like, as I'm out watching people in the world, I didn't decide to wear black because I saw, like, Gary Keller wearing black, right? Yeah. Or wear black because of what, but it seems like as things progress and I don't know if it's need to, it's almost like you start to pick up a style and it's just like, No, that's as much of who I am as like my business. Like you,
Yeah.
I see you like this all the time, right? Like
know.
at the gym,
I
at
know.
gymnastics, wherever. Like this is just who we kind of are.
Let your color come from within.
Come on. Isn't it interesting how, like I hear that story of like I have officiated a few weddings throughout my friendships and things.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
But it's like this whole thing of what we do for a living almost makes it to where the pressure of that, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but almost like we have a calling before our careers to be these people that really dive into other people's lives and get to know them well, because I'm not just good and you're not just good at what you do because you read a script and became like, this is who you just naturally are.
But think about this is like we get to go into people's lives in a way that not a lot of professions do. And when I go to people's houses, because I help them purchase the house, I get invited into like their most, intimate areas to kind of look at what they've done and what they've changed, and they seek your approval. And I think that going through real estate, everybody's come to you for a need. Some people have lost a loved one and their life has changed. Some people have lost a job. Some people have gotten a new job and are having a new child.
Right.
You see all of the evolutions of one's life at any given week. And what an incredible blessing for us to be a privy to that.
Yeah.
It's a privilege.
Yeah, you get to cut really deep really quickly because, like, what can you afford? Where can you go? How many bedrooms do you need? What are your kids' lives like? What are their needs? And for us, like, we're looking through bank statements like, oh, and the good thing is, too, like, because you see so many different people's walks of life, I think it might be easier for us. Like, we could be judgy, but instead, I think we're more understanding.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we've seen the best of people and the worst of the best people.
Right.
Because of the scenarios that are they're being put through.
That's good. That's good. And you and I both, like, I always say, like, you should be one of the members of, like, Man from U.N.C.L.E., right? You like the superhero story, like flying helicopters, being on big stages, like talking, doing stuff, helping to influence people's life and their legacy trajectory. Like, what does that feel like?
It just allows me a buy-in, I think, to some degree, and I think that it makes them realize that, again, we're not just a lender, and we're not just a realtor. We're all of these things, and they're all these things. Haley and I always joke, I'll get a phone call. She'll be like, oh, yeah, I was like somebody from California. She'll be like, all right. The dude was a pilot. All right.
All right. Yep,
Their daughter's a ballet dancer. All right.
Let's go.
I think it allows me to have multiple avenues to connect with people who in any other life I may not have the opportunity to connect with. It opens me up to be able to have those conversations.
And I wonder if there's a little bit, it's a question more than like a statement, but is there anything that you feel like you can't do?
No.
Right? Because I think I see that in you, and some of us in this industry, it's like we've never learned to doubt, right? That's a Jesse Duplantis thing, but like I never learned to doubt. I don't know if it's my dad or just my life or whatever, but when I see something, I'm like, I can do that.
Don't you think it's the survival instinct of you that no matter what's going to happen, you're going to come out on top?
Yeah.
But I think it's what you and I start our every single day with is what am I here to do today? What and it's not what can I get from the day, it's like who can I touch, who can I talk to? And then in doing that, like it adds to you. I mean, Matt, we live in the greatest city in the greatest state. We help the best people, but if you were in any other state, you'd feel the same. And if you were in any other country, you'd feel the same. Yeah, we would be doing this, and I think it's because we love people and we love life. Yeah, and then we want to support our own.
It is. It's a blessing to get to be here, live here, and do this. But I think that's why I wake up like what you're saying. It's like not what can I get out of today, but how can what I've been filled with pour out enough to help somebody else get through the day.
And then by the end of the day, you realize it was so much more than you even bargained for.
So much better to give than to receive, and then it just keeps going. Yeah.
I will say this about my business. My business hinges on the relationships that I have with my title company and with my lender, with my inspectors. And there's no other lender that I know of that I've seen pull off what you guys do every single time.
Wow.
You guys are our first stop when it comes to introducing people to needing to get that loan for their home. Because I have no doubt, once it goes into your hands, we're going to know exactly what we can shop for, and that everything that you say is going to come to fruition. Yes. I'm grateful.
Well, thank you. Easton, thanks for being with us today, man.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.